Brandi Koskie with dietsandreview.com, and with me today is Dr. Mike Moreno, the author of the wildly popular 17-Day Diet. How are you doing today, Dr. Mike?
Great, thanks for having me.
Sure. We wanted to catch up with you as we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of 17-Day Diet's release and its huge impact on the diet industry over the past year. So, I was looking at some stuff today, and you've been on the New York Times bestseller list, you've been on Amazon's bestseller and USA Today's bestseller, and I'm sure some others. Did you ever anticipate that 17-Day Diet would get this big, this fast?
I don't think anybody did. I think it's been great, and I think that what's really caused it to take off, initially we had a lot of good PR behind us, but I think once the diet got out there, people started doing it and getting excited about it, and people started realizing, hey, this thing really works, and this is a sustainable way to lose weight and live our lives. They really embraced that whole concept of a lifestyle change. It's now just sort of fueling itself. So did I expect this? No. But I'm excited, and I love to get letters from people every day telling about how, and it's not just the weight, it's their sugars, their blood pressure, their cholesterol. I mean, they're just getting healthier, which is, our goal.
Right. I don't think a lot of people realize that you actually self-published the book at the start. And then, so it's this amazing kind of case study in self-publishing, how it, just kind of took off. But things, I think, really turned around for you when Dr. Phil and the doctors got wind of it and you started appearing on the show. Can you tell us how that whole relationship evolved and how you got those amazing, media placements?
Yeah, initially my relationship with them actually started several years ago. And those of you who have read the book and who have looked at it, you see that I still do the Walk with Doc program. Mm-hmm. Started that about 3 years ago. And I actually ran into some of the people who were involved with the doctors several years ago, and it was a very random sort of thing, and we started talking. This was right about when the show was getting started, and we started talking about me being a physician, and I had told them, I'm starting this new walking program. And they said, that's a really cool thing. Would you like to come on the show maybe sometime, and we'll have you on, and we'll do a little story on your walking program? And I said, yeah, sure, it'd be great. So when I did that initially, I sort of developed a little relationship and got to meet them, and then they would invite me back periodically, and so I kept in contact with them. You never knew that down the road they would be such a strong push in terms of helping me out, and I have nothing but thanks and a million times over to say to them. But it sort of started very randomly from the walking program, and then as things built, when the idea for the book came about, they said, look, we know you, we've had you on a few times, we like this, and we'll help you out a little bit. So there you have it.
That's great. Well, I mean, that's how most of America found out about it last winter.
Right.
You guys sold the book to Simon & Schuster earlier this year, and did a second printing of the book. Was that an easy decision for you?
It was a little odd because, it was after about 8 or 10 weeks of selling the book online as we did, and then suddenly being approached by several publishing companies saying, hey, you have something here, and we'd like to be part of it and help you. I couldn't ask for a better publishing company than Simon & Schuster, because they are such a powerhouse, and they've been such a big force in terms of really pushing this to the next level. We had a lot of traction, but they really picked us up and threw us in every direction, and so it was kind of a crazy thing that just came out of nowhere, but I've been so happy with what they've done and the support they've given, and they've really, really put this thing out there, and they're believers in it as much as I am, and we're hoping to just nurture this relationship and create more stuff that makes this country healthier, and it's what we've been talking about all along.
Well, part of what you're doing with them, you've actually, the 17-Day Diet as a brand has expanded beyond just the original book. Can you tell us some of the things coming up for 17-Day Diet?
Sure. So we there's one thing, and I'll talk about in a second, I think people are really going to like, but we have printed the book in Spanish, and that came out August 30th, so that's been about 5-6 weeks. And we also came up with a workbook, which people really, really like. It sort of creates it's for those obsessive compulsives like myself that really like to look back and be reflective on what they've done or what they haven't done, and it's sort of a reminder that, you know, I didn't get my exercise or my probiotics or my green tea or my hydration. You know, really creates that sort of OCD kind of accountability, which people really like it. And I've actually used a lot of food diaries, and I'm sure you're very, very familiar with those sort of things. They're so helpful to really, you know, sort of retroactively look back and reflect and say, oh gosh, you know, we're so busy, we live such busy lives, we don't, we really don't think about what we eat or what we do or don't do often. So those two things have come out. The great thing that we're really excited about is in March, so we're still about 5-6 months away, we have a cookbook coming out. And we have two fantastic people who are helping us out along with my efforts and a few others. Again, Simon Schuster's really been a driving force, but the cookbook is going to be packed with tons of new recipes. There's really going to be just a brief overview of the diet and the whole idea of how it works and the philosophy. But then we've divided it up into each cycle, and we've come up with a number of breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and snack ideas that really are going to give people a lot of flexibility and a lot of new ideas. Okay. I think the book itself has a lot, but this is really going to take it to a new level. So
absolutely,
some great things coming.
Especially for those people in cycle 4 who are in the maintenance part,
right,
and they're just trying to live day to day and kind of follow the principles of the program.
Right.
I'm sure they're getting bored and looking for something new.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny when you go online and you look at so many of the groups that have been formed, a lot of these support groups that revolve around the diet itself. A lot of people have become extremely creative and come up with their ideas. And it's a matter of really taking the content, the ingredients, and not really sort of changing it so much that it changes the caloric and sort of nutritional foundation of whatever it is you're making. So a lot of people have been really creative. I mean, I'm the first to admit that I am not a chef. I like food, but you know, it's been you know you've seen the book, and the recipes in my book are super basic. So it was kind of went that way, and people that really are creative in the kitchen have really taken hold of it and done some fun things. But I think the cookbook, you're absolutely right. When you get into the routine and now you have this new lifestyle, you want to sort of nurture it further, and then, you know, variety is the way to do that.
Exactly. Well, that's exciting. I'm glad to hear that so much new is coming from it, and there'll be a lot more materials available to people who've really connected with it.
Right. It's going to be fun. Like you said, it's really building more of a brand, but, you know, at the end, you know, we're estimating there are well over 1 million people on this diet right now. Well over. You know, people just, it's through word of mouth. It's just amazing when you see people looking better, feeling better, and when you go to work and people ask, God, you look great. What are you doing? So it's sort of selling itself now, but really we want to just kind of make this a big movement, and this is what I really love about Simon & Schuster. We've talked several times about this. It's not just about selling a diet book. It's about selling a lifestyle, and 5 years from now looking back and saying, this program had a big part of changing the health of this country. And you know, we all know, you know more than I do, and as well as anybody, that it's a big problem that we all need to help each other out on. So hopefully it's going to head that direction.
Yeah, well, you guys are definitely making an impact. I mean, you see as much of the feedback as I do. I mean, on Diets in Review, we're getting so many people coming in and leaving their experiences and sharing tips and telling how it's changed their lives. And I'm sure you've heard from thousands of people in the past year. Are there any particular stories that stand out of people who've had a lot of success that you can tell us about?
There are a ton of them, and you know, I get emails and letters and things every day that make their way to my office or somehow, or through a lot of Simon Schuster forwarding me a lot of things. But you know, we're talking people who have lost 50, 60, 70, up to 100 pounds and more. And the beauty of this is they're not having surgery. They're not spending thousands of dollars on supplements and pills and drinking shakes or starving themselves. They are losing this weight at a good rate in a healthy way, but they're sustaining it. I've gotten several letters of people who were on the verge of insulin that were maxed out on medications for their diabetes. And I mean, we're talking 2-3 different pills, and their doctor said, listen, enough's enough. Your sugars aren't controlled. And these people are now off all of their medications. I mean, no. So It's been fantastic, and I want to take a sec to thank you as well, because you've been very, very a big integral part of this, and I know the work you do, and I see the effort and the hard work you do on the Diets in Review, and so you're to be commended as well, not just for our stuff, but all of the stuff that you do on there. So I want to thank you as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's I mean, we've obviously when these things come out, we look at them and we scrutinize them. And you and I talked about this when the book came out last year, that and you'd even gotten some criticism from elsewhere, that there really wasn't a new idea, so to speak, here, but it was just the way that you packaged it, in a sense.
Right.
And you broke it down and you made it make sense to people, and you made it accessible to people. And people need more of that. We're all busy. We don't have a lot of money. We've all got 1,000 other things we could be doing, but when it's laid out as simply as it is, it's hard not to get behind a program that just supports healthy habits. So
yeah, and I really think that 17-day time frame is really just that that psychological part where you say to yourself, I can do that, and then when you see the results that you see, you're like, wow, not only can I do it, but I'm going to continue to do this. And next thing you know, you're surrounded by a completely different lifestyle. So I really have seen in the last several months how this lifestyle sneaks up on you and surrounds you without really much effort. It's been really good. So I'm hoping to see good things come from this as time goes on.
Yeah, with little changes, they all add up.
Right, absolutely.
Well, Dr. Mike, thanks for catching up with us on the anniversary of the 17-day diet. And it sounds like we'll be talking again very soon to talk about some of the new things coming out with the book.